The only reason you will not insult your colleague man is because you fear him. You fear the consequences of insulting him. So because of that fear, that is why you will not insult him. Not actually because you respect him. You can respect somebody and then the next day you say, I don't respect you again. Then what is remaining? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have you heard about this statement? I don't fear you. Me, I only respect you. So you see, due to this, a lot of youth are growing up to be making this kind of statement and making statements saying that, oh, I don't fear him, I only respect him. I don't fear my father, I only respect him. I don't fear my manager, I only respect him. I don't fear my boss, I only respect him. And some even say, oh, I don't fear my husband, I only respect him. Some even say, I don't fear my wife, I only respect her. And a lot of people go around making this kind of statement. And I think that is sick. You are getting things wrong. The only reason why two people can live forever in a peaceful way is because not only do they respect each other, it's also because they fear each other. So respect is something that you can actually drive from fear. So fear is like a universal set and respect is part of it. So if you decide to go and take respect aspect and leave the fear aspect, you can never live peacefully for a very long time with someone. There will be a time where the respect is gone, but due to the fear, you still need to respect the person. So if you have only respect for the person and then you lose the respect for the person, then you tend to hurt the person or do things that the person may not like, and in the end you might blame yourself for what you have done. So fear is like a bigger thing and respect is just part of it. It is fine to fear people. It is fine to fear men. It is fine to fear women. It is fine to fear your colleague. It is fine to fear your boss. And if you are a wife, it is fine to fear your husband. If you are a husband, it is fine to fear your wife. People say fear women. People say fear this person. People say fear men. It is normal. Fear is part of life. You can't grow without fearing others. We all grew up, and if you look at it from an African perspective, we all grew fearing our parents. You feared your father. The whole house, everyone could be making noise. But immediately you hear the footstep of your dad, everyone gets ready. Everyone like control themselves and they don't misbehave. So fear was something that was part of our upbringing. That made us right today and we don't mess up with our lives. So in a community or in a society where people are growing up and trying to neglect the aspect of fear, they tend to not to have direction. And if you look at some part of the world which I don't want to be specific, they just want to say, hey, you don't need to fear people, you only need to respect them. It is wrong. You need to respect people, but at the same time you need to fear people. So fear is part of life. Inculcate this in your life. The only reason you will not insult your colleague man is because you fear him. You fear the consequences of insulting him. So because of that fear, that is why you will not insult him. Not actually because you respect him. You can respect somebody and then the next day you say, I don't respect you again. Then what is remaining? So it is this fear that would make you and guide you to not disrespect the person. And also from the Muslim perspective, you can never hear anywhere God says, respect me, respect me. No. If as a Muslim, you read the Quran, you find out that a lot of verses in the Quran that talks about fearing God. He didn't talk about respecting. So God says, taqullah, fear Allah, fear Him Allah, fear Him Allah. So fear is the highest level that you can ever have for someone. You work with people, you need to fear them. You need to fear your boss, you need to fear your colleague. If you live in a house with people, you need to fear them as well. Your neighbor, fear them. You need to fear your husband, you need to fear your wife. It's normal. Take it as part of your life, because when you disrespect the person or dishonor the person or you insult the person in any way, you can't predict the consequences of whatever that may happen to you. So it is part of life to fear people, and do not shun from this. Learn this and have it in your mind and teach your next generation, because even with our generation, that is what we're brought up with. And for those who decide to neglect this aspect of life, which is fear, they get things wrong and they don't really have a beautiful life. So fear is part of life. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
هنا مروا وكانوا قدوة